Thank you for auditing the unedited new music review show hosted by a French professor who's not going to say the name of the album that he's reviewing. I'm going to be reviewing Destroy Lonely, but every time I say the word that other YouTubers call unalive, I get shadow banned, I get hidden, my algorithm eats the receipt, okay? It is terrible. So I'm going to be reviewing the album If Looks Could KI Double Hockey Sticks by Destroy Lonely, and I wasn't sure if I was going to review it. My initial reaction was mixed. I had a hard time approaching this album. In the last couple weeks, it's important that I cover the great masterpieces of underground hip-hop like Billy Woods that came out last week, and I want to focus on that. But I also think it's important to really try to understand and better appreciate mainstream hip-hop, take it seriously, give it the same kind of treatment and seriousness that I give to more respected rap music and hip-hop, because the strength of rap music is its mainstream and its alternatives are both so healthy at all times. So I knew I wanted to review this, and I know eventually I'm going to review Hugh Jackman's album Harlow, but my son told me if I reviewed Harlow before I reviewed Destroy Lonely that he would disown me. So I love my son, and he really wants me to review this, and his friends really want me to review this. He's a high school senior. His friends, the same ones who are really into Playboi Carti and Kendrick, really like this Destroy Lonely album, so it feels important to me to understand this, even though to a certain extent it is like the opposite of Billy Woods. Billy Woods is an amazingly rapped, beautiful cadence, beautiful rhythm, beautiful bars, beautiful production. This Destroy Lonely album is almost the opposite of that. It's like there's nothing good about this album. Now, wait a second. I'm not saying it's a bad album, okay? This is a complicated idea. Remember, I am like the only guy on the internet who knew that Whole Lotta Red was a masterpiece the week it came out, okay? So everyone else was saying it was mid. I knew it was great. And I would say it's a similar feeling that I got listening to this. And I recently watched Fantano's review of Destroy Lonely, and it was a good review, but it's just very, very negative. And the funny thing is, I totally relate to every single thing that he said, but I disagree with his conclusion. Everything he said about the album is accurate, about its lack of polish and production, about its lack of lyricism, all that. But that's the thing, like, why does my son like it? Why do his friends who have good taste like it? There's something going on here. And you can choose to just say, I don't want to learn, I don't care, it's all the junk for the young people and the hippin' and the hoppin' and the jello pudding. You can do that if you want. You can tell the young people to pull their pants up and listen to Public Enemy. I am choosing to really try to figure it out. And, a lot of it is my desire to better understand Atlanta. This is a great book by Joe Coscarelli, Rap Capital. I really do recommend it. Destroy Lonely is not in here. This book, even though it just came out, like, there's so much happening in Atlanta. The only even mention of Playboi Carti is eventually the South Atlanta wheeze and squealer Playboi Carti would build his entire sound from the mouth-made effects of Jeezy. So that's an interesting take that he has on there. That there's so much happening there, and we can't just dismiss it because it's not Billy Woods. At least that's my take. My biggest issue probably with all of this, with this album, is that if it fits into the same rough category of rage rap, there's no rage in this album. There's very little aggression. It's very relaxed. It's all vibes. It's all vibes. And when I think about the forces that go into making something like this, I think of Playboi Carti, obviously, because it's on his label, and there's this sort of insistence on the minimalism of the production where almost every single song is just two notes, D-U, D-U, or maybe do-re, do-re, over and over again. That's super minimalism, the ridiculously long album that ensures a lot of plays, that Migos ushered in with Culture 2. It's Coscarelli who told me that was the beginning of streaming bloat popularized by Drake. But much like Drake and Migos and Playboi Carti, the effect that is desired is just not an effect that I value. The vibe effect is hard for me as a boomer who listens to Public Enemy and keeps his pants pulled up around his belly button. You just can't see because I'm sitting down. you know, as somebody who respects hip hop in that way, it's hard for me to get behind these vibe rappers. And I can sort of get behind the rage with Playboi Carti, but what do you do if you have rage rap that's not angry? This guy's not angry. This guy's not crazy. This guy isn't pretending to be a vampire. This, like, what's up with Destroy Lonely? Someone sent me a message on Instagram, and I sometimes respond, sometimes don't. If I don't respond, don't take it personally. It's impossible to respond to everything. But Evan Arke, he's asked me to review this, and I want to understand, like, what do you hear in Destroy Lonely? So this is what he said. I think Destroy Lonely has some of the best production in the game. There's a lot of rock influence, which you can hear both in the amount of guitars, but also unorthodox trap drums he uses. That's all accurate. Okay? So whoever this person is, whoever that person is, they successfully identified that. I feel he's one of the few rappers today that really captivates me and pulls you into his world. So that's the interesting gambit of a lot of these vibe rappers and these vibe musicians, is if they don't pull you into their world, you are just flying right. You don't even get into the atmosphere. You're just like, whatever this is, I don't want it. I'm just going to completely sidestep it. So it has that power to either pull you totally in, and again, I'm saying this as a 45-year-old guy who went to the Playboi Carti concert and had an amazing experience that was borderline out-of-body bliss, okay? I'm not alien to this stuff. I can feel it despite the age of my bones. But this world is quite different. It's not crazy. It's not wild. It's not even really sad. I mean, it's in this name, Destroy Lonely. I mean, Destroy Lonely is such a, like, I thought it had to be the name of a collective or the name, just even the name. It's so evocative. And the cover is just basically all black. You don't even see his face. It's all super dark. There's this movie that he made, a short film, which really helps to understand the album better, called Look, K-I double hockey sticks, It's like a little horror movie. And if you are a hater and you think that Destroy Lonely can't rap, wait till you see him act. Whoa, jeez. But it's okay. He's not, you know. I mean, how many musicians are good actors? Very few. It all takes place in Snellville, Georgia. I looked it up. East Side Station. Maybe I'll stop there sometime. It's like this horror movie, but like the thing that kills people is this music. Oh, hey, I'm doing the Destroy Lonely video.
Oh.
Can I tell you when it's over?
What?
Can I tell you when it's over?
Sure.
Did your friends ever respond as to why they like it?
No.
Why do you like it?
Because it's like a whole lot of red.
Okay. There you heard it. Because it's like a whole lot of red. That was my son, by the way. He's sick from school today. So, you know, this video, it does a lot of the things in 12 minutes that the album does in 80, right? It's dark, it's atmospheric, it's got some good beats. I was watching it while watching my baby. You know, my baby was just laying down on the ground, and when the music starts kicking in, my baby does this little like worm dance. She's like that. She's like, she's on the ground. She just like starts dancing, you know, like gets you kind of moving. You know, it's kind of dark, kind of spooky, kind of goofy, which is like the entire album. I will say that it's so hard when you know you want to review something to see that it has 26 tracks. It's unbearably long for a reviewer. Like, this is a thing which I think musicians need to understand, that if reviews matter at all, okay? If reviews matter at all to you, don't do that, because no, you know, it's like when you're a teacher and someone hands you something and the handwriting's too small. It's like, come on now, give me a chance. Now, the rock aspect is obviously something that's very marked in here, and I think it's interesting because, you know, this kind of it's good and it's bad. The ways that it's good is, you know, we sort of had this Atlanta history, Outkast and now Lil Yachty showing this love of different kinds of music and integrating rock and guitars into their rap music. But there's also maybe a sort of shallow understanding of rock and roll, which is why I think Lil Yachty's album is so interesting, because that showed a deep understanding of rock and roll. I often think of Lil Wayne's guitar album and just his idea of guitar shredding, the two notes, the weird positioning, that like there's a misunderstanding of like what makes something rock. And I think too often what they think makes something rock is just a really nice sounding guitar going meow, meow, meow. That's probably my biggest actual complaint about it, is this slight misunderstanding of rock, where it doesn't really rock. But it's all vibe. It's all vibe. As Evan said in the message to me, the first 2-3 songs are great. Then it might get a little stale. Then it catches up again a few songs later, and it's amazing all the way through. I can see that. And this, the funny thing is, I'm going to be doing this review, and I bet you most people who love this album can't tell you the name of more than 2 songs because it doesn't matter. It is an 88-minute tone poem. It is an 88-minute piece of ambient music, essentially, for just sort of driving around or just sort of zoning out. The themes are basically non-violent. He talks a little bit about guns, but he doesn't really talk about his ops. He doesn't talk about shooting people. It doesn't seem like violence is in his daily life. It's sort of misogynist, but it's mainly about sleeping with women, but it's not like really mean. He loves Balenciaga. Ooh, he loves Balenciaga. The thing is, he mumbles. Okay, I'm going to sound like a boomer here, but he mumbles a lot. He mumbles more than people who we call mumble rappers. Seriously, I feel like I don't speak English when I hear this guy rapping, because part of what makes his style so interesting is he gives you no space, man. Words, 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 words. Next song. Words, 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 words. Like, in like a 3-minute song, there's like 400 words. It's like insane. He never stops. There's never a break. And like, so it ends up that certain words pop up, and the words that you understand over and over again are promethazine and Balenciaga. Give the guy credit. He's picking some multisyllabic words there, but very into Balenciaga, very into promethazine, not into Percocet. Hey, I like that. Encouraging people not to be addicted to Percocet, to be addicted to codeine. I guess it's better, harder to get. And weed by the pound. Constantly talking about weed by the pound, weed by the pound, weed by the pound, weed by the pound. Weed by the pound. So let me give you an example of what this sounds like. The title track, If Looks Could K.I. Double Hockey Sticks. You're not going to get me, algorithm. Speaking of the algorithm. Speaking of the algorithm, smash the like bucket, subscribe. Don't unsubscribe because you're a Billy Woods fan and now you see them reviewing this trash. Please understand that I think a better understanding of hip-hop involves embracing all of it and trying to understand all of it, as opposed to having a limited view as to what is acceptable and not acceptable. You're not watching, though. You already hit the down button. So that's fine. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me what it is that you like about Destroy Lonely if you're watching this. Very low-key song, this title track. The beat's almost underwater. 3 chords, not 2. Guitar everywhere. No space. Just words and words and words and words. Typical lyrics, don't shop at Neiman's, don't commit treason, everything I do is for a reason, everything I do is strategic. That may be true. I don't know. It seems that all he talks about is Balenciaga, smoking a lot of weed, and being addicted to codeine. So I don't know. Wait, is codeine the same thing as promethazine? I don't know. You can tell me in the comments if you want. Everything I do is strategic. Baby, please don't leave me. I don't need you, and I know that you don't need me. I done got this fly, so I'm going to date with the moon this evening. She acts cool, but I know she evil, she deceiving. If looks could, you're going to catch me. K.I. double hockey sticks. That makes every day Halloween. This kind of vaguely, cartoonishly dark theme, sort of spooky theme. This song actually has an actual hook. Most songs don't. In a way, that's why I think my son thinks it's a lot like the Playboi Carti album, because you can just sort of listen to it, and it's just sort of like an experience. I gotta go, B-word, I'll see you later. Put on Balenciaga for my haters. I'm the Dark Lord, a real soul taker. I'm the top floor boss, a little player. I put on big pants, I'm a real deal raver. Put on big pants, I'm a real deal raver. I got so much trouble on my mind, refuse to lose. I put on big pants, I'm a real deal raver. Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't match, okay? It's okay. It's okay. This is doing something different. It's just doing something different. This song has probably the most development on the whole album, which isn't saying much. Doesn't have a lot of development. Kind of sparse sounds, drums, bass line comes in. I love almost every song has a nice instrumental bit towards the end where things get a little bit more emphasized. Like here, it has these dark guitar notes that are emphasized. Kind of catchy. Go through the rest of the album much quicker. First track is called How I Feel. Real swirling beat. His voice are the most clear here, even though I don't really understand what it is. Just kind of goes and goes, has a guitar solo. Then we get the title track, and then we get Fly, SHT. This has kind of a clean guitar here, kind of cuts out. There's like a nice dull, dark bass. I can't make out these lyrics at all. Just relentless. Just relentless. Talks about how his clothes cost him a whole B word. It's a very interesting idea. Like, what is a human being worth? Okay, so first of all, in order for a clothes to count a whole B word that rhymes with witch, right? That means that there is a value of a human being, a female human being has a monetary value, and then that value is how much his clothes cost. These are horrifying conclusions to draw. More guitar outro. I actually like the guitar outro here. It's one of the better ones. Which one? More guitar notes to start. Back to kind of two chords going back and forth. The voice is a little bit more bright. Again, there's little differences here. There's a little differences here in his delivery. That, I mean, the more you listen, the more you pick up. There are slight differences from song to song. Another guitar outro again, sound of a shell casing. Next song's called Raver. It's gonna be the worst rave ever. like he keeps on talking about raving, so I'm picturing, glow sticks and, wearing a backpack and doing weird little dances in, I don't know, Manchester. But this is more like being passed out in a warehouse when the party's over. At 5 a.m. someone shows up. Oh man, there's a dude here. Like, this is that kind of rave. Here it's an electric guitar that really takes over. It's a loud noise. Makes reference to Raindrop. I don't know if that's Amigos thing. Does kind of this like couplet delivery. So even though you can sit there and say he doesn't have any flow or any variation, he does. He has lots of variation because he does these little couplets at times. Came in Wit has this high level of distortion. It sounds like when you're in the New York City subway and there's a train that's the brake hits. It's like one of the loudest, most annoying. Lloyd Dobler, Dumb and Dumber. When Jim Carrey's character says, "Hey, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?" And you go, "Ah!" Is that sound? It's like one of the most annoying sounds I've ever heard in a song, and that made me happy because that's where we're getting a little bit of that avant-garde thing. That avant-garde thing that Playboi Carti's doing, and maybe a lot of this is really inspired. And I think when we look back at this time, I think we're probably going to see that there was an opium movement. And that we're not thinking of it in terms of trap or Atlanta or this, but that there's this sort of like text, the sort of beginning of it all with a whole lot of red and then a whole bunch of things that filter out from that. Sort of in the same way, okay, not to this extent, but sort of in the same way that, say, 808 and Heartbreak did that. By the Pound is the next song, which isn't Beats by the Pound, No Limits producers. That's what this is. This is Beats by the Pound. This is by the pound. You get units of music by the pound, not by the ounce. Weed by the pound, words by the pound, songs by the pound. The last song reminded me of like a broken Atari. This one sounds more like a Nintendo with kind of brighter sounds there. Next song is called All the Time, and another underwater beat. It sounds like bubbles going on here. Some designer boredom, Italian fashion. One of the words that pops out is he says, "I came from nothing." I guess he does. This segues directly into Biggest Problem. Balenciaga, weird vocal fry in his voice, which I like. Fantano was really upset about it, but I like it because it's interesting. It has a, if we believe these people that they smoke as much weed and drink as much promethazine as they say they do, that has real bad effects on your voice. Like if you have a voice instructor, and you go and talk to a voice instructor, you're like, yeah, so I'm addicted to drinking cough syrup and smoking weed. Is that going to help my voice? It's some of the worst stuff you can do. And so there's that forced, decrepit character pops in. Next song is called Chris Paul. The weirdest thing is when the song came on, I was watching ESPN at the gym, and Chris Paul, the basketball player, was counted out for the next game. This has even more interesting sounds. It has people screaming in the background. I thought there was an emergency at the gym when I heard this song. Talks about both McCartneys, Paul and Stella, which is interesting. So many layers at some point. Like, this is a good example of a song where I bet if you listen to it a lot, that you just really get into the layers, just how nutty the amount of layers there are on this song, or you can just fly right over this planet, just not get in that world at all. Superstar, I don't understand a single word until he says the word superstar. Swirling beat, very, very underwater. Next song is called New New, not to be confused with Snoo Snoo, an alien sex song. Nice ratty keyboard on this. This is sort of the most maybe Playboi Carti style keyboard there. Just that 2-note beat with nice kind of clean guitar sounds over this dirty synthesizer. My baby started dancing to this one a lot. Too much promethazine that I be sipping. I've been losing my mind and tripping. I can't trust these B words. I don't even know what's going on, but I'm getting richer. It's part of this image that's I think popularized by these, especially Atlanta rappers, but Southern rappers. The idea that just like their whole life, like they just don't know what the hell's going on, you know? I mean, it's future. Obviously, it's future. That you just sort of had the sense that just like, okay, I want to wake up, smoke a weed, drink a lean. Okay, I want to talk over this beat. Okay, someone just gave me $80,000. Okay, I'm going to buy a $6,000 hat. Okay, I'm going to go do a show. Oh, there's 5 women who want to have sex with me. Oh, okay, I'm going to smoke some more weed, drink some more lean. Okay, I'm going to go to bed. And I'm going to wake up. And just like this whole like universe of just like passing through these stages. It's disorienting. That's the word. It's a disorienting existence that they're describing. And they're not the first ones to describe it. Hard Day's Night by the Beatles is the same damn thing. You know, the movie and the song, I'm riffing here, but I think it holds. It's a bizarre lifestyle where you're kind of going and going and going, being put in one room and then another room, and then people just keep throwing you money, and then eventually people keep throwing you drugs, and people eventually keep throwing you women until your just whole life is just, I don't even know what's going on, but I know I'm getting richer. I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know what's going on. There's like passive income, and then there's disorienting income. I'm making some good points here. Thank you for sticking by. Definitely give me a smash up on that one, because that was a good point. Right now is a cover of the Van Halen song, which was used as a commercial for Crystal Pepsi. Next song is called Which Way, the most kind of auto-tune song, kind of atmospheric, dark sounds, most kind of proper chorus, very catchy, very legible. Nice outro as well, kind of ghosty. Then we get to Wagwan, which is Jamaican slang for like, what's up? And it has maybe the best melody in the entire album. And I wonder, like, if this album were like 5 songs long or 10 songs long and they just picked the best ones, that might be nice. I've got a bad B word. She's a foreign. So women. Okay, maybe I said it wasn't misogynist. Maybe I was exaggerating. Oh, burn. Lawnmowers. It's okay. I'm almost done. You know what? This is perfect for this style of aggravating music, anyways. So Toby, but you're too much, okay? I think we need to sign Toby and a lawnmower to Opium. Playboi Carti, if you're watching, seriously, you can take 80% of their profits. So women are worth clothes, and now women are also just, they can be foreign. So a car can be foreign, and a woman can be a foreign. I guess my wife was born in Yugoslavia. So I also have a bad B word. Who's a foreign. It's a weird, dehumanizing, not okay thing to say. Moment of Silence is a song with no silence because this dude doesn't give any space. Blah, 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 blah. Probably the realest pop song on here, maybe the best texture on the album. This is the whole thing. I get why Fantano dismissed it, but I'm telling you, I secretly suspect, like I secretly suspect with Playboi Carti, that this might actually be a great album. I'm sorry, it might be a great album with a song like this. His voice is the most vulnerable. He does this kind of couplet and triplet flow at times. Sometimes the bass gets cranked way up for emotional impact. All this money been replacing my friends. Hey, Destroy Lonely, you're describing this whole disorienting world of wealth and money and women and all that stuff, but in reality, you haven't destroyed lonely, you've just made more lonely. The money, the women, the drugs, it just makes more lonely. He ought to call himself Make Lonely. Lonely is undefeated. Toby, I swear to dog. Should we finish this? Let's finish it over here with Toby so he can relax, huh? I'm getting goofy with it, Toby. I'm getting goofy with it, alright? Let's finish up my notes here, right? Then we get to the song Brazy Girls. which is like actually kind of pop punk. It has kind of like a pop punk guitar notes in here. Most of my N-words stuck in the trap serving Will Ferrell. It's funny because he says, shoddy ass going round and round Ferris wheel. I've been skipped all the fake-ish Ferris Bueller, huh? So he's actually Toby. So he's actually making an interesting thing of a Ferris wheel and Ferris Bueller, showing some kind of connectivity here. Baby thinks she Catwoman, all she rock is Mueller. This Bat Gang, I'm not Batman, is you stupid. Going up, more bass-heavy sounds, trap stuff, codeine, weed. I get tired of it, but there are some philosophical considerations here. It's going up, it's going up, it's going down. This is the cyclical nature of existence, as described by Destroy Lonely. Passenger. Okay, this is the thing. There's a joke, an old hacky joke about Mexican food, that everything has a different name, but it's all the same ingredients. It's like, what's a taco? Well, that's tortilla, meat, and cheese with rice. Oh, what's a burrito? Well, that's a tortilla with meat and cheese and rice. And that's sort of a funny joke, not super funny. But that's kind of what this album is like thematically. Everything is just lean, women, weed, Balenciaga, diamonds. Just over and over and over again. Promo, more codeine, voice comes in. I start to wonder if he's not saying the same words over and over again. Worth it. I gotta make every second worth it. Pouring up. I spilled some and I've been swerving. Purple on me. I don't pop no perkies. She's the baddest B-word on earth. She might make you nervous. Okay, so, God, there's just so much here. Toby, help me. Help me. I like this. I like this music. I enjoy listening to it. But dear God, is it hard to describe. Even the Van Halen cover is tough. Okay. Red light. It's more swirling, less ominous. Make some work. Keep it, playa. I pop promethazine. Nope, I don't pop no perkies. Again, I like his anti-Percocet stance. I like the lazy guitar grind, the way it interacts with the vocal fry. And then they have a song called Safety Interlude, which is called an interlude, but it's maybe the second most developed song on the album. It's got this very Kurt Cobain-style guitars, and then interesting stuff about sadness and about lack of safety. I've been spending more to live safely, 30 round on the Glock and reload. A great auto-tune effect at the end, kind of a chorus effect, and cool like guitar solos at the end, acoustic guitar coming back, the most interesting production on the drums. Again, I don't know, but there's a chance people are going to come back to this album and say, wow, this is a very good album. The final track on the album, because I'm not reviewing the album with Ken Carson, because if something calls it bonus, I'm just going to take that chance off here. I'm a finna pour a cup. Someone please get me a Sprite. I've seen a reflection of love every time I look in your eyes. Could we have more incongruous lyrics? I'm finna pour a cup. Somebody get me a Sprite. I seen a reflection of love every time I look in your eyes. It's like, I see a reflection of love every time I look in your eyes. I'm going to drink codeine with soda. It doesn't go well. I've lost my goddamn mind. There's my review. I shouldn't have been so goofy because my son's friends are going to watch this and they're going to make fun of him because I'm a goofball. But what are you going to do? All right. Well, until next time, where I might review the Jack Harlow. I might review the Hugh Jackman. Who knows? Toby, you want to bark one more time for them? What is it? What's going on out there? What's happening? What's it? There's the camera.